What's up, man? Justin, what's up?
How are you?
Hey, good, man. Good. How you doing?
Good. Nice to see you.
Yeah. Finished class?
Just finished.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, yeah. I've gonna ship some stuff out, but was gonna brew up some coffee.
That'd be great.
Yeah? Yeah.
What do you got?
Well, I used the V60, I think, but you should pick out what we're gonna drink. I did just roast some. Should I? The Rwanda.
It's up to you.
Let's do some like super fresh Rwanda. So, okay, so all right, well, let's do some Rwanda, and I'm gonna get some agua.
It smells really different from when after you grind it.
Yeah, and
Like it's a much different smell than you'd
well. So check
expect.
this out. Check this out. This is where it gets really interesting. Totally different from what we just did.
Same beans.
Same bean, roasted to almost the same temperature. Like, open this up. Check this out. Ready?
All right. Oh, it's like flowers. It is totally different.
It's completely insane. You got any opinion on which one you want to drink? We should probably drink the one that's
Well, this one, I will be honest, this smells better.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's what. I gotta weigh some stuff out over here.
Okay, when I think now knowing what the bloom is, I'm thinking of my French press. Okay, I've got the grounds at the bottom of the French press.
Yeah.
I pour the boiling water in,
Yeah.
and
Boom.
the way that I don't know how to say this quite right. The way that it kind of expands in this organic sense, it kind of becomes bigger, and you think, oh, it's filled up with water, and it's not. It's actually the grounds have expanded, and they're like swirling together.
Yes, dude.
That's the bloom.
The bloom, dude.
Okay.
You got it.
Yeah.
You know. Yes, dude. That's why you're the man, Justin. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So, like, we're gonna weigh out. Let's have a cup of coffee, huh? We'll do 37 grams. All right.
37.
Just so you know.
That seems not like pulled out of thin air. That seems like a specific.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's ratios, you know. So, how full of we're gonna each have a mug, and how full, and we're gonna put beans in ratio to that water. So I'm like, all right, we're gonna have like a good mug of coffee. I'm not having a little sip.
So you mean not strong?
How much liquid are we gonna have
Yeah.
in our cups? How strong is it? Is it brewed, extracted correctly?
Yeah.
So I'm just like, how much?
Okay.
All right, 37.
That's your starting point.
37. And then, yeah, that's our starting point. And then we're gonna think about like water and time and grind. And these are like the variables that you...
I'm at home not doing 37 grams.
Yeah, what do you do?
I'm not weighing it at all.
Oh, yeah. What do
Are
you do?
kidding?
Scoop?
No. Oh, I just kind of a pour from the pre-ground bag that you grind for me.
Yeah.
No, actually what I do is I take the whole beans,
Yeah.
put them in the grinder myself.
Okay, yeah.
But there's never any, I don't know, like it's always approximated
Yeah.
how much is there.
I love that, dude. Throw it in, you just grind it, and you're like, cool.
Yeah. Sometimes I notice there's a little more than usual.
Yeah.
A little less.
I love it. Dude, that Justin, man. Woo! Dude,
Now this is
check that out, man.
now that smells more like ground coffee that you would expect.
Versus
which was
what?
neither of
Not
those
the
two.
tub.
No, not the
Yeah.
tub.
But like, you know, we got a nice grind, nice and even. And then, okay, so now I'm thinking, how much water and for how long is that water? Yeah, I'd say I could do 500 grams or I could do 600 grams of water on top of this.
Those are the limits for acceptable range of the taste.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Where you got a little freedom. So I'm gonna pull it off like right before 200. All right, so check out this boom. I'm gonna just hit start on the scale just so we're looking at time because that's kind of part of it.
Oh,
Let's check this out.
that's less water than I would have thought you'd start
Yeah,
with.
just
to get the bloom.
and that's even. I'm sure there's some people who'd say that was too much. That was 49 grams. But see how like it has continued to exhale, continue to. So
yeah, it's become its own like
Yeah, it's-
biosphere of coffee.
Yes, exactly, dude. It wouldn't be weird to wait a minute. It would be just fine. But there you go. So I kind of wait for. There's going to be
comes
one.
down.
Yeah. one big exhale, and then you're like, there it is, okay.
Yeah.
So look how that crust is broken, and so I'm gonna just kind of not try to disturb the loaf in there. Just like we're gonna add water, let it do its thing. It's still got plenty of, gases, and we're at about 100 grams. So I'm gonna just keep adding water.
So that's not just water. That's not bubbles in the water. That's gases from the from the coffee.
This is just RO, nothing special. Look at all that. So I'm gonna let it drip, and that interior structure is still holding. I kind of am thinking about chocolate, what's the consistency that if you're like make chocolate, what would you want it to look like?
What this makes me think of is like there's a process for doing my French press, right?
Yeah.
I get out the water, the boiler.
Kettle,
right?
Yeah.
Get that, it's like fun to get that out. Set it up, plug it in.
Yes.
Get out the grinder. It's fun to set that up. Okay, I get the beans. Which beans? Pick out your beans.
Yeah.
So that ritual is really fun.
Yeah.
But my little ritual is like such an abbreviated form of what you're doing.
Okay.
That
Right.
this is almost like being like if I had the time to be in a monastery.
Yes, dude.
This is not what I'm doing in the morning, though. I'll tell you that. Like
No,
this
'cause
is
you
a whole
live.
like you have to be present. Can't be kids running around but like the process is like, oh, this is actually its own experience.
Yeah.
That I could see really enjoying as part of the whole coffee experience.
Yeah, like in the morning, being able to just have this much like time to be able to do this and like have this ritual every day.
Or any time.
Yeah, that's very true. I love it, man. I tell you, that's like what probably I was the most pulled in by. Everybody has their own real specific, you go to different places and it's like a really specific thing that these people do around coffee here, but a ritual nonetheless, man.
Yeah.
Everybody's into coffee.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do everything wrong here. I'm gonna just add coffee. All right, let's look at mugs. What do you, I got this one. Can I get you a different mug here?
Yeah.
Yeah, can I heat it up for you?
Yep.
All right.
Is it
Yeah, we're going like this.
6.5 minutes?
6.5 minutes, totally spaced out in the middle of the thing, but I think it's gonna be
right.
great. Okay, ready? We're gonna add a little more, okay? Just hold on.
You're starting with this and
And we're just gonna, there we go.
I feel like there should be a ritual for the beginning of the drinking it too. Like there's this whole ritual for making it, but then you just kind of just start drinking.
No
it.
way,
Whereas
man. You plink before you drink.
Blink.
Plink before
Plink.
you drink. Plink. Yeah.
Definitely caramel.
Oh,
Yeah.
but it's like caramel pineapple. It's like caramelized pineapple with like floral notes.
Oh, okay, for one thing, I've never had caramelized pineapple.
Really?
Oh, you just mean like
Caramelized
over the like a fire.
Yeah.
That kind of caramel. I thought
Like
I was thinking caramel.
searing it.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's caramelized. It has that like pineapple.
Well, it's enjoyable. That much is.
I will say
certain.
that thing is smooth.
Yeah.
All right, let's sit down, man.
Okay.
Dude. So one thing that I think is amazing is that you drink coffees like all over the board. You'll drink really low temperature coffees and then like really high temp.
Me specifically, or like people in general?
You specifically. You're like you'll have all different types of coffees. It's great. It's terrific.
Though I will say that I definitely have my favorites. Like when I come in, it's not like I want to try all the different. I kind of like the Mexico 420.
Dude,
from like the first time I had it, I would just as soon have that every single time.
Yeah.
But that's how I am with most things. Like once I get a favorite,
That's the one.
But then I get the Rwanda.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, well now this is kind of, now that's up there too.
I know, it's like a pretty, drinking like a bunch of different expressions of what coffee can be is sort of like the hunt that I'm on. Like I really love that. I love trying a high temp Mexico and going to a low temp Rwanda and then having all these different types of like ways that I know what a 420 Mexico is, you know, and like trying to bring out those like
whatever the essence is of
Yeah.
the 420.
Yeah, right.
But you have to get to points where you get, you know, like a different temp Mexico and not like it as much.
Yeah.
That has to be the case for you, right? Where you're like, actually, I don't.
Yeah.
Do you ever get to a point where like, I don't really like this coffee?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So when you go through so like I'll look at a whole lot, I'll purchase a lot, right? And then I'm roasting through the coffee, and while I have the coffee, I'm trying all sorts of different roasts with it. But like at some point, you know what the bean is.
You've
tried
exhausted the possibilities for that bean.
Yeah,
and there may be a range that you prefer, but
Yeah.
it may not be your favorite bean.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you come across the best.
And you're just going, I'm never gonna let you go.
Yeah.
Like this is. It is. I will say when you crack open a bag of, you know, like the sealed bags of coffee, dude, that smell is from the air of the other side of the planet.
Yeah.
You open it and it's this like I am in Guatemala, I am in Ethiopia. That first air, because it's all sealed up tight, and then the smell of those beans. I mean, the smell of raw, like those beans, like the seeds, they smell like the soil. It smells exactly like the soil of the place.
Now that's what we should have done. We should have smelled the green beans.
Yeah.
Is that what you call, you know, the green,
the raw green bean.
From even if I didn't get the first whiff of the atmosphere of Rwanda, we could have smelled that.
Ooh.
Then smelled the 3 days ago, then today's, then the grounds, then the.
It's pretty awesome.
I mean, because it's really a pretty dynamic thing that you're.
That's awesome. All right. Next time we come over for coffee, we'll do
Okay.
It's gross. Oh man.
Okay, I'm halfway done with this cup.
All right, that's pretty good. All right, here's a question for you, and it's a kind of a tricky question to like phrase because it's sort of like, what can you expect? What's fair or reasonable to expect of other people? You know, in terms of people would come in when we first were just a coffee shop. People would come in and be like, "Oh, it's like too bad nobody's in here. You need to have a drive-through."
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I should do a drive-through. And I would find myself being like, I kind of want to expect a little bit more out of people than the absolute lowest possible option, and then like grow things down there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to make my customer the person who is unwilling to get out of a car. They have to be on their phone to have an interaction.
Right. It has to be as easy. You have to make it so easy that it's actually no work for them really at all.
Otherwise, they aren't going to come in.
They're already in their car on the way to work, and all they're doing is making a slight divert. It's so easy.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. There are so many coffee places where you expect a drive-through, and you expect things super fast. You expect you have these expectations that you don't have at like a butcher. You don't expect a drive-through at a butcher. You expect a craftsperson. You go in, you experience the smells, you see the blood on there. You know, it's like an experience.
Yeah.
Or the baker.
Yeah.
There's an experience that you don't expect at the butcher or the grocery store that you've come to expect with coffee. And so that dumbs down the coffee, in your opinion, right? It makes it like the lowest common. It's like it's just worth nothing because it takes no effort to get it.
Yeah, and what's worse is this. It's that. It's exactly that. It's that's the mindset of the people who show up, okay? And then how are you going to make money from that mindset? Because what you have to do is you have to pay your bills. So what are we going to do? What kind of interaction do I need to have with that mentality? And it's been...
you've clearly worked not to be there.
Yeah, okay. You feel that. You're aware.
Well, it's patently obvious. And if you look at your space and how you've grown, like you have definitely grown away from that model.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. And it's been an active choice. I'm glad that you can see it. That actually is like, all right, cool. Because I like actually believe in what people can do and like what people can be and what we are capable of. And I want to bring a thing that's a reflection to people of what people are capable of doing. And it's like a reflection that is in the form of a drink in a cup that you drink and you're like, whoa. It's like, dude, this is like the taste of people working together. This is what you're tasting. People loving the earth, loving their job, being taken care of in a material way, caring about what they do, and making a product. And you're like, okay.
Yeah, but you have to show people, you have to model it, you have to show people the way to that experience, because they're obviously not predisposed to that kind of experience with coffee. They're totally predisposed to the opposite, which is without thinking about it, having someone just fill up a cup that is made out of a product that's terrible for the earth. There's no thought whatsoever. So you have to bring people to, in order for them to expect something different, you kind of have to show them what is different about what you do.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it to you before, but like the bedrock of the people that we're hanging out with coffee and who I'm selling to are households. Like regular, it's not like some crazy like crew of like really insane specialty coffee people. Yeah. It's like the opposite.
Well, and not only is it the opposite of that, it's like people who are actually in Iowa, and this is somewhat a stereotype, but who are actually more connected to the land in tangible ways than people in the cities. You would expect maybe a population in a rural area to be more receptive to this idea that coffee isn't just something to be produced, consumed lazily, but like it's actually
pay attention to it.
Pay attention to the process, because
where's it come
there's
from?
Good beef and bad beef,
That's
right? There's like good pigs and bad, right? Milk, butter, cheese. Like people understand that.
Yeah, coffee is in that crew of things. Yes, dude.
Yeah.
So to be able to explain to people about what is going on here, and then share it with them, and have them say like, "Wow, this is great! I received this. This is awesome."
Well, the other thing is, specialty coffee itself, just saying those two words, also conjures up a certain kind of image, which is not necessarily positive.
Yeah.
Even for someone like me who appreciates specialty things.
Yes.
It's like saying the word specialty coffee kind of puts it into a class of something that's like, well, I'm not particularly distinguished. No, I'm not like highfalutin.
Yeah.
And especially people around here.
Oh, yeah. I'm not fancy.
Well,
don't give me that fancy stuff.
I don't need, and I don't want to pay for fancy stuff either.
No, there's cheap stuff out there. Let's just get the cheap stuff.
Why not get the cheap stuff?
Because I'll spend less money that way.
And get more coffee? More cups of coffee for the dollar.
They grind it too. You don't even have to spend a second grinding it.
They pour it for it. You don't even have to interact with someone in the morning before you. You
Do I
just
have to get out
literally
of my
go
car?
and put your hand under the thing and coffee appears.
Now we're talking. And that's cheap. You're telling me that's cheap.
Yeah, that's cheap. So would you say you have changed people's perspectives on processes or the product?
What can we expect from people? What can we expect? I know that there are people who drink our coffee who did not drink special coffee, true coffee, good coffee, anything. Like they just drank garbage coffee. And they are drinking good coffee. And it is like the greatest thing, because they're not doing it out of some place of pretentiousness or anything that has anything to do with like ego.
Yeah.
It is just simply they're like, wow, okay, great. Like I like how it tastes. I like what you're doing with it. I like where you're getting it from. I like how it doesn't matter. And like there's all these ways to experience good coffee with a person. And sometimes people do not care. They don't care. It's cheaper, whatever.
Well, I think the analog as a teacher is that people are actually what is possible for people, or what are people capable of?
Yeah.
This question you've asked a couple times. Yeah. Like you can expect massive change actually from people over a relatively short period of time.
Wow.
So, and it's not like the teacher's job in this case, in this analogy, you're the teacher. Like you're showing people something new. You're providing a new perspective and asking what they think of it. Would you like to keep buying this?
Yeah.
Do you like this? Would you, do you want to participate in this experience that I'm showing you?
Yeah.
Or do you want to go back to Quickstar? So I think there's a total analogy when it comes to like what you're doing and what I do as a teacher. In terms of showing people something different and hoping that it changes their perspective.
Yeah.
On something that you care about, right?
Yeah. I never thought about it like that. Yeah. Like if I have anything to say to anybody, it is not that we are the one single place that roasts in a special way. There is a way to do this work, which results in that product.
Yeah.
And there's many people doing it right now.
Yeah.
And that group of people who do that work, from growing it to bringing it to our country, to roasting it, to drinking it, there is a group of people who are positively making huge impacts.
Yeah.
And when you drink the product of this group of people, you look at your cup twice. You're just like, what is this? Why is this so good? What is going on here?
And that shouldn't be so surprising for people who have tried different qualities of beer, right?
Yeah.
Or wine,
Yeah.
or steak.
Yeah,
I mean,
food things. Like,
the steak they're making at the buffet at Hy-Vee is different than a steak that a chef has prepared from, so it's like people ought to be able to at least believe in the possibility that there could be something really different about coffee. It's just they probably, because they've lived their whole life without experiencing it, think it's probably unlikely. I've had lots of coffee over my life.
Yeah.
I've never really distinguished from one from another, so I'm probably not going to with this.
Just totally closed.
Yeah.
Right? And then,
Like, I'd prefer a rare steak
yeah.
from a steakhouse
Yeah.
than I would ground beef that's been frozen. You can't go, once you've had one, you
Right.
kind of, it's like, well, yeah, I have a preference now.
Yeah. And that's like, is that okay? Yeah, that's fine.
Of course
right?
it's okay, yeah.
It's definitely fine. You have to, at some point, have a line where you just decide.
Well, I definitely will say as I get to the end of this cup, it's much sadder to come to the end of this.
Well, sweet man. In all reality, thanks for being
Yeah,
here.
thanks for the
it's totally
coffee.
great, man. Until
Appreciate
next
it.
time. Boom.
That was about as nice a half hour of conversation over coffee as I could have expected.
Dude.